Good morning, everybody. Yesterday I set everything up for hauling liquid manure so that we could empty this pit out, and I had it all set up. It was all perfect. Thing was backed underneath it, all ready to go. And then I did a test load just to see if everything was set up, because you can set it up and everything and make sure it's all good, but until you haul a load out, you don't really know if it's all the way it's supposed to be. So I went out, dumped a load, but as soon as I did that, there's a hole in this hose here, which I didn't expect at all. I guess it kinks on the same spot every time, and it kind of wore a hole through it. So right here, tore open. It kind of kinks here quite a bit, so it just bursted right open. Started spraying a little bit. It's not that big, but if we wouldn't change the hose out now, halfway through hauling manure, we might need to replace the entire hose and stop for a day or something. So we're just gonna take care of that right off the bat. My dad went to the city this morning to pick up a new bit of hose. It's gonna be a bit longer. We'd like it a little bit longer. We were literally talking about that yesterday. It'd be awesome to have a bit of a longer hose. So we can do that now, but we're gonna have to replace the entire hose. We're gonna keep the end clamps of this thing just because there's no point buying new ones of those. So this part, we'll just have to grab some Allen screws and screw this off and just replace the rubber part of this hose. So that's what we're doing this morning. Gonna have to unhook this hose. It's filled with liquid manure right now because I already filled a load. Kind of sucks, but let's get at it. Sweet. Now I'm gonna lift that end up with the loader just so that it can hopefully drain all of the liquid out of the pipe. So we spilt a little bit. I didn't want that to happen, but there was really no other way of doing it, so it is what it is. So this end, the screws are Allen key screws, and I found one bit, like a hex key or something. So if I'm lucky, this will be the right size and we can get those right off. So this is the new hose. It's obviously used. I think it was maybe fixed up or something. So we're just gonna put the brackets back on there. Well, that was pretty tough, but we stuck the ends in steaming hot water, brought the entire thing over to the vet room, and we were able to get him back on there, so it's all ready to go. I just gotta rehook it up, and then I'll be done with this. I also put some blocks in front and back of those wheels there, because you guys can see I spilt a little bit. As soon as I turn the pump on and fill the tank, that hose tensioned up and moved the spout a little bit. So now hopefully it's gonna be perfectly still the next time I go for a load. All right, we got the third hose today hooked up to that pump. I had to grab another hose because the new one that I put on this morning still had a leak in it. It was a used hose, so we were kind of worried about it, but it ended up being that. So I went back to the city, got a new hose, and that one works good now. I tested another load, so we should be good to go. 3 hoses within just today were hooked up to that thing. Quite a bit of extra work just for nothing, but it is what it is. So this afternoon, the combine is out in the field combining some wheat, and it's dropping all the straw. So I'm gonna head out there with the baler right now and make some round bales. Thankfully, we don't have to make any more small square bales. I would die if we had to do any more of those, but we're gonna take the New Holland baler and the Case tractor out there. Solid units. Let's go hammer out some round bales. I'm gonna put a spare roll of net wrap in the back chamber here, just so that if I run out, I don't have to come all the way back or call somebody to bring me one. The other roll, of course, is just up front, back in there. The roll that's in there right now, probably only 20 bales left, so it's good that we're bringing another one. So I got a bale in the baler. I've made about 10 bales so far, and I'm out of net wrap, so that fresh bale of net wrap I put in the back. We're gonna go switch that in here now. Pulled my jeans over my rubber boots there. It's the absolute worst thing, getting your boots full of dust and straw and crap like that, and then you gotta sit in the baler for a couple hours. Like, the worst, man. We got this roll slammed in there. Just have to weave it in back there so that it can tie up on the bale. So the tractor that we're driving today, it's always parked in front of the baler, and it is our Case 2094. I just did a little bit of reading on this tractor on tractordata.com. You basically type in any tractor and read up on all the specs of that tractor. So this thing, it was made in Wisconsin in 1984, and it's got 127 horsepower. Now the most interesting thing that I read about this thing just now is the original purchasing price back in 1984, and it cost brand new $43,300 US. So I don't know, that's around 55 to 60,000 Canadian. That's mind-blowingly cheap to me for a 127 horsepower tractor, brand new. Nowadays, I'm pretty sure you'd be well over 100,000, probably even maybe 150 for some brands, but that is incredibly cheap. That just shows you how much more expensive over time everything gets. And this tractor still runs perfectly good. I guess it's 36 years old now, and still perfectly good tractor. We're still using it every year to bale up all of our straw and our hay, and we probably make 2,000 bales a year with this thing, so it's still a solid tractor. Even the air conditioning works so good in here. When it's super hot outside, like plus 30, you can still like be needing to turn the air conditioning down, otherwise you'll get too cold in here. Like, it still works so good, which is really impressive for such an old tractor. Question I'm probably going to get in the comments is, why do you use big round bales instead of big square bales? That's a good question. For us, with the large square bales, you're going to need to build a shelter or tarp them off once you stack them all. You got to cover those bales up when they're the large square bales. If you think about it, if you look at that round bale right there, if you were to dump a pail of water on the middle of the top of that thing, it would all flow off the sides. But if you dumped a pail of water on one of those big square bales, all of it would go into the bale, and all the straw that soaks up that pail of water, it's going to be bad, it's going to be moldy, and it's just not going to be good straw anymore. So for us, especially in this climate up here in Saskatchewan, where it's freezing for over half of the year and we don't really get usually a lot of rain, it's definitely way cheaper for us just to do the round bales. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people think that large square bales hold a lot more straw, but a round bale, I believe the volume in it is actually bigger. Now, large square bales might hold more straw just because it's packed heavier maybe. I'm not 100% sure about that, but they definitely are comparable in terms of how much straw each bale holds. Well, we finished baling for the night. I moisture tested the final bale there, and it was around 17.5% moisture. So that's too much, and that's because at nighttime, especially when there's no wind, the dew settles into the swaths really quick and starts to bring up that moisture content super fast. So you're gonna have to keep a really good eye on it when you start going into the night, making sure that you're not baling bales that are too moist. So otherwise those bales are gonna go bad and they're gonna be worthless. They'll still make good bedding, but you won't be able to feed them anymore, so you gotta keep a good eye on that. I'm just gonna check the cows here, and then I'm gonna go home and go to bed. It's gonna be a long day tomorrow. We should be starting with the hauling manure. So that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. Check out the Instagram @SaskDutchKid, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.